All right, guys, just kicking it off, waiting for a couple of people to jump in here. I just want to do a quick sound check. Can you hear me loud and clear? First thing is, can you hear me? And then we can get stuck into it. So yeah, let me just start this up just so it's just me to start off with. I really look. I've been speaking for a while about my theories on how I'm managing my portfolio, and now I've been doing this throughout the back end of 2019, and of course now that we're in the start of 2020, and we've got this beautiful trend on Bitcoin now pushing to a higher high just the last 24 hours. I wanted to touch base and let you guys know some theories I had, and this is definitely not financial advice. It's just the way that I sort of go about thinking about how to sort of balance my portfolio, I suppose, going into what could potentially be a strong run. Now, I want to take you through the journey that somebody would take entering into the space, because let's be honest, the money that's already in is in. And these people, there may be more that are already in that will invest further, but I think that the blue ocean is really on those that have not yet come into the space. Those that are in the position whereby, I suppose, they know about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and might know bits and pieces about the space, but how to take actual action, they may not have done that. And the next bit of upward price momentum as we head towards 10,000, I think once we hit five figures, i.e. 10,000 or more on Bitcoin, we'll probably see those people start to get a little bit more interested in regaining exposure to the space, or actually gaining some exposure to the space, as I think that media will pick up the Bitcoin run that has been very strong at that point throughout 2020. So it's just really to give you a bit of an understanding as to why and what I'm looking at. And it's not going to all be charts, by the way. This is not a trading segment. It's about helping you to understand a theory that I have. So let's think about the people that are coming in next. They're your mum, they're your dad, they're your uncle, they're your auntie, they're your mates. These are people that may not be in the space already, or likely are not in crypto or any exposure at the moment already. So when it comes to an asset class like this, you're going to have two types of people. One are going to be those that are completely speculative and just want to make a quick buck. And there's going to be a lot of those. Two is someone who's got a portfolio, maybe it's a self-managed super fund or whatever it is in different parts of the world, where they manage their money, whether it be in their pension, their super, or they've got a portfolio that they manage actively themselves in stocks and whatnot. So these people coming in, probably looking at between, I don't know, 5 and 50,000 investment to kick them off, I would suggest. Okay, and now that's just a random number that I've picked out. But those that are coming into the space next, I think there will be a higher demographic, there'll be a higher age demographic and a little bit more assertive and educated in what they're doing, as they may have some background experience in it already. So working back from that sort of a person as to their journey in, let's have a talk about that. So we know we're going to be seeing these people coming with a little bit more money than probably your average bear. Where are they going to invest? How are they going to invest? But first of all, it's going to be fairly speculative. They'll have their asset classes in stocks and whatnot, and they want some exposure. I can't see these people going in 2 feet first. They'll probably start off small and build their way in. Now, are these people going to be able to find access to information the same way as they do in stocks and shares? And the answer is no. Now, let me just throw this up. This is obviously CoinMarketCap, which is a place where I know I began looking through this. Most people will find CoinMarketCap. I believe it's got the strongest performance for hits in crypto. And it's really about finding where the information is going to come from and seeing what they're going to see on their way in. So, of course, most people are going to buy Bitcoin first. That's going to be their on-ramp. Now, I don't want to talk too much about Bitcoin because they're going to buy Bitcoin first usually and then move across into other markets. So what other markets are they going to get into? Well, my thoughts and theories are based on the fact that, and these are facts, okay? I'm looking at the top 15. Now, take out Tether and it takes us to Dash. Okay, top 15 cryptocurrencies. So what I've done is I've taken the market capitalization of all of the top 15, and what I've done here is just very simply chucked them in here and done a calculation, 230 billion. Now that accounts for we'll call it 90% of the entire market cap. So the 90% of the entire market cap is in the top 15. In the top 10, I mean, if you look at this through to here, That itself, what's that? 225 billion. So it's only 5 billion, about a bill each on the last, well, that's four there. I've made a little mistake that I've missed something. I've missed dash. But you get my point, okay? It's the top 10 to 15 is where I think most money is going to go, and here's the reason why. People are going to go through here and they're going to be looking for things that they can relate to. Now, we can't get access to internal information in these companies, like their revenue sheets, all this sort of stuff. It's very difficult to find if you can find it at all. So what they're going to be looking for is, and this is why I put that post out, what are you looking for in trust? It's as much about me being able to deliver my content better and build that trust factor as it is about understanding the mind of somebody who enters this space. So they're going to go to Ethereum in the top 10, which is number 2 market cap, and they're going to come to something like this, and they're probably going to go across to the website. This is the journey. So I'll be honest, the Ethereum website is not all that inspiring, and you'll see when we look at XRP how much better I believe that website looks. For a start, it's very simple. What is Ethereum? They're probably going to click on that. They're going to read through this, yada, 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 and they'll read this 10, 15 times across the top 10. Then what they're going to see is, where is it? There's a year of which it was created. Where did that come in? 2015, I think it said. So they're going to see all that. Where was the actual, I saw the number in here at some point. 2015, it said somewhere in here. And they're going to look at that and go, okay, there it is, launched in 2015. Ethereum is the world's leading programmable blockchain. Now that's a statement that's made by the Ethereum developers, of course, and probably one that's very hard to argue. They're going to see that. They're going to see that it's been established in a market that's only been around for 11 years now and go, well, hey, that's pretty good. That's 5 years of being in the space, and it's number 2 in the rankings there. Now, they'll probably do a little bit of reading through and a little bit of research and watch a couple of these things and get inspired and all that sort of stuff. And then they're going to continue looking through. So they're trying to work out how they're going to build a portfolio. Now, of course, most people will hold a wedge of Bitcoin and then they'll work through and find other alts to invest in. Now, have a look at XRP, and this is just taking you through the journey of a new investor coming in. Again, they can see the volume. I don't think they'll really care too much about the volume. Some will, but most will be looking to invest as opposed to be actively trading like we do. We'll go to the website here. And look, there's a reason why XRP have a website like this, and I'll explain that to you. It's simple, it's professional, it looks good. Check this out. It's a pretty cool looking website, right? What I do like about this is, look, fast. It tells you why it's better. Okay, it tells you what it is, of course. It tells you why it's better. All right, faster is basically what we're looking at here. Is XRP is saying we are faster, therefore we're better. Scalable, we're more scalable, therefore we're better. Distributed, we're all over the world, we're better. You've got all ledgers closed without issue since inception. Now, for your average layman who's investing in stocks and shares, that's not going to mean a great deal. They're going to go, I don't know what that means. But it sounds good, doesn't it? Again, it's just building out that word there, stable. It's building out that trust, that ability to communicate a simple message, which is we're better, we're stronger, we're safer. We haven't had any cock-ups just yet, okay? Now, of course, as they go through this and they look at this, they'll be looking at this and going, okay, if they go into depth, and they probably will at some point, they'll go on and have a look at customers, for example. And what they're going to see is this. All right, they're going to see American Express, Money. They're going to see big brands that they know and that they already trust. And XRP or Ripple, whichever one you call, obviously Ripple's a token. Sorry, Ripple's a company, XRP is a token. They're going to see companies here that they know and trust. 300 plus financial institutions across 40 countries worldwide. So you're going to see a lot of this sort of stuff with brands, a brand association with the partnerships that they've got in place. That's going to help that new money coming in feel comfortable that these guys are actually doing something. Now, I don't believe they're going to dive down into all the internal details of what makes XRP special, what makes Ripple special. I don't think they're going to get into the political side of it about it's not centralized. Sorry, it's completely centralized. It's not decentralized. They're looking at this as an asset class, not so much as a utopian wonderful change for the whole world to get on board and whatnot, right? They're not going to give it two hoots about that. They're going to keep going through this process, and what they're going to note is they're going to just feel out the websites, what looks best, what feels best, and what makes the most sense. They're going to start reading the white paper and go, that's just a bore, and they're probably going to move on from there. So again, simplicity through here. Now, you add that to the fact that with the top 15, we've got 90% of the market cap of Bitcoin, which is 256 billion right now. Okay, and they're going to be focusing their attention up here, in my view. All right, now a very simple one for people to understand, in my view, and this is just my view, is something like Binance. Now, again, I'm not saying that anyone should do anything, that you should do your own research. I'm just taking you through a journey here. What they're going to look at here is they're going to go, okay, this is an exchange. All right, so I can buy and sell Bitcoin here. If they do some research about Binance, they'll see the volume is pretty darn good. They'll see that it's been around for quite some time and it's quite an established brand. Support, whoops, I didn't mean to click on that. They'll see they've got support. They'll see that this is actually a business that has revenue. And that's what attracts me to things where I don't know their revenue, but I can see that there is a way for them to get revenue. And for me being, and look, I'm no crypto genius type person. I don't know the technology very well as far as, going into the ins and outs of XRP and Stellar Lumens and all that sort of stuff. But I do understand the business model of it's like a broker, okay? And people will understand that. So they're going to be looking at things like this. Now, they're going to buy Bitcoin first, and then they're going to move into these alts, and they're probably going to use Binance. That's probably what they're going to do, or at some point. So I think we need to be considering what they're going to use and how they're going to use it. Now, this is why I'm telling you this. For me, with the Bitcoin halving coming up, because as you can see here, in 99 days, blah, 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 May 7, we do know, and look, things change, markets change. We don't see markets always act in the same way for certain events, but this is quite a compelling piece of news. With Bitcoin halving coming up, again, more press, and if we get more price upside, it could cause a bit of a FOMO reaction in the market to pump. Now, based on this, we do know that, in a couple of months' time, we are going to have a halving, and the history of halvings have supported further price growth. So we add that in. We add Bitcoin in, we add the top 15 in, we've got the majority of the market. Now you'll also see here on my list, I've got the top 15 running through here. Now what you'll notice is all these pairs are going to be FTX for the most part. FTX is an exchange that I use, and if you want to get, if you want to use the same exchange, you get 10% trading fees, just, let us know, drop us an email, whatever, and we'll send you a link through. Same with Binance if you want the same sort of thing, but that's not what this is about. I'm just explaining why I've got FTX charts here. So look at this chart now. They're probably going to not jump on the trading view. They're probably going to use a chart, something like what they'll see on, CMC. We've got a higher low and a higher high, strong buying coming through. We've got our weekly now also looking a lot better. And we jump across to our monthly. The monthly actually looks better on the BitMEX contract because there's more data. And you can see here, they actually get some perspective and go, well, it did pull back. These people don't want to buy here, okay? They also don't want to buy here. They don't want to buy the top of the market. They don't want to buy the bottom of the market. They want to buy a point at which they feel comfortable. And right now, I believe that we are getting towards that comfort level, as in when we've just pulled back in, okay? If they were to look at this, it would be backed up further. So how do you go about positioning yourself for these types of moves? Well, again, we need to go back to the mindset of the individuals that are looking to open these accounts. So what I've done over here is a Bitcoin top 15. If we look at this, charting it, so this is the top 15, they're probably going to research a little bit. Remember, this is speculative money. This is not, whiz-bang, super-duper, in-depth viewpoints and thoughts and understanding of the technology. This is a speculative play, so they have some exposure to this very exciting and new marketplace that is the digital asset space. So if they look at a chart, they'll say, okay, well, Ethereum's hanging in there against Bitcoin. As you can see, it's gone up. They're going to see XRP. Well, it's not doing too well right now. Bitcoin's outperforming it, okay? But what a lot of people will also see is they'll go, well, if it gets back to there, and that's the mentality of a lot of people, especially the speculative side, well, if it does do that, then it will be, and that's what the way they'll start to think. Bitcoin Cash, they'll see this is trending quite nicely. And why am I showing you this? Because you might want to look to buy some Ethereum in that portfolio, and you might scale your position in. Let's say you want to buy $5,000 worth of Ethereum. You might buy 2.5 now, so you've got some exposure just in case it goes and shoots up. But you also might want to time it. So when it pulls back into these cradle zones that I speak of, that can be your entry point, and that's the sort of thing that I sort of try and teach people. You look at Bitcoin Cash, it pulls back in, that's a good time, pulls back in, good time, good time, good time. Now, I'm not suggesting that there were actually trades there. Okay, I'm not saying that there was trades there. I'm suggesting that if you're looking to build a portfolio, you don't want to be buying when it's racing up. You want to buy a pullback. Okay, you want to buy at fair value, and that's what this cradle zone's for. Look at BSV, again, pull back in, move away, pull back in, it's moving away. Litecoin holding its own against Bitcoin. These are the places that the new money is going to enter, in my humble opinion. Based on the logic that I've just shown you, perhaps you agree, perhaps you don't. Here's Binance again. It's we can look at different time frames here as well. It's been in a downtrend against Bitcoin for a little while, so they might want to wait on that. Here's one that's quite compelling. Cardano breaking through that resistance. Of course, it's moving quite well. I'm looking for a pullback, waiting for that opportunity. Ethereum Classic, we've got some great trades on that this year. Actually, that's been the best trade of the year, and I'll tell you the truth, I didn't get a fill on it. I put it out in the community. Many of the guys and girls that are in there did get trades on it, and my order just didn't get filled. Anyway, it was a cracking trade, and they've all done well, and I was left begging. But again, nice trend. Something as simple as a breakout strategy, something as simple as a point at which markets pull back into. It's a matter of not just finding what you're looking for your investment portfolio, but also timing your entry, okay? So this top 15, as you can see, it has performed in the beginning of this year quite well for the most part against Bitcoin. Here's 2020 here. Tezos about flat as well. And of course, Dash has had a stellar beginning of 2015. So just to recap, Ethereum, 2020, we're up. XRP, not so much. Bitcoin Cash, it's up. BSV, it's up. Litecoin, it's up. EOS, it's up. Binance, it's slightly up. Cardano, it's up. Ethereum Classic, up. Tron, pretty flat. Stellar, it's also up. Monero, it is up. Tezos, it is sort of about the same place at the start, and of course Dash is heavily up. So when we combine all of these things together, the major market being the 90% in the top 15, we combine that with access to information, the quality of the websites, the information, how easy it is for people to get a very quick and easy understanding of what the project is and what it's doing for their speculative play in this market. Then you bring in the charts for anyone who does look at charts out there, and they're going to see that these asset classes in the top 15 seem to be outperforming Bitcoin for the most part. And now we start to get a bit of a plan in place for what they are looking to do and how they may look to enter. Now, one thing I can tell you that I'm very, I shouldn't say very sure of, but have a fair amount of conviction on, is that they're not going to leave page one. They are going to go across the next 100. Now, unless these people are very tech savvy, and that's going to be a very small portion, I believe, of what is to come, okay? They're not going to go through all these white papers. They're not going to teach themselves all about blockchain. They're not going to go through that process. That's why I think if you're not on page one, you're nowhere, okay? Now, I'm not saying these tokens won't do well. That's not my point. My point is that if we double down, sure, in that top 15, if we think the way these new investors will, these are relatively more, I shouldn't say safe, but they are more safe options to the layman's eye than, say, the outside of the top 100. These are what you would consider a blue chip of the cryptocurrency space. And that's why my attention, you can see here on my top, it says top 10, I've just added the other 5 in. That's why when I'm trading, and I'm using leverage, because I try and use leverage whenever I get the opportunity to, that's why I'm trading against a stable coin. That's why FTX here with the perpetual futures is important to me, because these markets, when they run, if I'm trading against a stable coin, be it US dollar, Tether, whatever it may be, I get the better upside. If I'm trading against Bitcoin, it's fine on my investment side of things, but as a trader, I've got two volatile asset classes. Whatever's the lead pair, so ADA, Cardano, and then I've got Bitcoin at the other end. They're both volatile. They might not move as much. So when it comes to trading, I much prefer to be trading these perpetuals or anything with the US dollar sort of thing in it. And that's the way I trade. But when it comes to the investing side of things, I have restructured my portfolio to encapsulate much of what I've just said to you. I do believe that top 15 is going to be where we're going to see a lot of money flow in. And obviously, it's already been witnessed because we've got 90% in that top 15 already. So, guys, that was it. Relatively short. Just wanted to sort of build out my theory on who's coming, what sort of person is coming, and where they'll be focused, just to give you a bit better information to inform your decisions moving forward in 2020. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope this has been beneficial. And like I say, if you want to get any links for any trading fee discounts, or you want to do anything like that, just let me know. Hit up admin, or just jump across to the website, tradercobb.com, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Thanks very much. And yeah, long may this run continue. Cheers, guys.